Hey guys, today is Saturday, May 9th of 2020. Welcome to Backstage with Millionaires. I'm Caleb, your host, and we are in week 7 right now of this lockdown here in India. Personally, I'm happy that the lockdown has been extended, even if it means that I'm stuck at home. I think that that's the safest place for me to be, and the safest place for a lot of people to be. Pretty much anyone in a major city across the country is in a red zone, but it's also nice that people in orange zones or green zones get a little bit more freedom, a little bit more flexibility than they did before this new phase of the lockdown. Of course, this new lockdown format, these different zones across the country, is definitely having an effect on startups. And so, along with a bit of other startup news, that's what we're going to be talking about in this episode of Backstage with Millionaires. If you've been watching our news videos over the course of this lockdown, then you'll know that we've been following the situation with e-commerce companies pretty closely. And so finally, after several weeks, e-commerce companies are now allowed to deliver non-essential goods in green and orange zones. Now, if you look at a map of India right now with an overlay of these different zones, you're going to see a lot of green and also quite a bit of orange as well. However, even though it doesn't look like there's a lot of red, a lot of India's major cities are located in these red zones. And of course, a lot of these e-commerce companies' business comes from these major cities. So e-commerce companies in India are definitely not in the clear yet. There are still a lot of districts that need to go from red to orange in order for these e-commerce companies to feel a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more secure. All right, next up in the news, health and fitness startup Curefit is shutting shop in small towns across India as well as the UAE, and they've also fired approximately 800 of their employees. The founders of Curefit, Sachin Bansal and Unacademy, shared an open letter to explain why they've done this and how the coronavirus is affecting their business. Now, we'll be leaving a link to that letter in the description of this video, as well as links to pretty much every topic that we're going to be talking about in this video. But just to summarize, besides talking about shutting shop in small towns and the UAE and firing a bunch of employees, they also said that pretty much every employee at Curefit is going to be seeing a salary cut. Specifically, they said that the founders, are going to be taking a 100% salary cut, that the company's management is going to be taking a 50% salary cut, and that pretty much everybody else is going to be taking a between 30 and 20% salary cut depending on their seniority. I think that probably the founders of Curefit were just waiting until May 3rd to see what would happen. You know, maybe the lockdown would be lifted, or maybe gyms and fitness centers would be allowed to operate again. But unfortunately, even though we have this green, orange, and red zone, fitness centers and gyms are not able to be open right now. And it's obvious why, right? People are going to be touching all the fitness equipment. It is an unfortunate situation, but of course, this is sort of just the tip of the iceberg. I think in the next couple of weeks, we're going to see more layoffs just like this. All right, next up in the news, we're kind of flip-flopping this week between negative and positive news. I want there to be, a little bit of a balance between the different kinds of news. The Confederation of All India Traders is going to be launching their own e-commerce platform called Bharat Market. Now, I'm going to be treading a little bit carefully. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I know that the Confederation of All India Traders is sort of controversial. They've organized a bunch of protests against the practices of Flipkart and Amazon and other big e-commerce giants like that. But the reason that I call this good news, I'm not necessarily supporting these protests, but I do sort of see the situation as a David and Goliath situation where David is really putting up a fight here. By starting this e-commerce platform, I think that the Confederation of All India Traders is taking a serious step towards competing with these e-commerce giants. And I think that's great. I love to see competition more than, lobbying and protesting. I think it's good if you sort of set yourself up against your adversary, see what they're doing, and then respond to it by doing the same thing, but perhaps doing it even better. I probably should have said this at the beginning, but just so that we're clear, CAIT or CAIT, I don't want to keep saying the Confederation of All India Traders, is comprised of 40,000 trade bodies and represents 7 crore traders across India. Bharat Market, this e-commerce platform that they're going to be setting up, is currently in its pilot stage. They started off in just 6 cities, but because the response was so tremendous, they ended up being able to expand the pilot program to 90 cities. And again, because this is a pilot, the scope of this platform right now at least is quite small. They're just focusing on groceries. That being said, they have managed to onboard approximately 6,300 sellers onto their platform. However, over the course of the next couple of months, they're looking to onboard approximately 1 crore sellers onto their platform. Obviously, this growth will really depend on how the coronavirus impacts India, but basically the way that it would work is very similar to what JioMart is proposing. You order your groceries, and then your local Kirana shop prepares the package for you. But instead of the way that Jio is doing it, where you have to go and sort of pick your groceries up on your own, in this scenario, the Kirana shop would be delivering your groceries to you.
So I'm going to move on to the next news item in just a second, but I wanted to clear the air before I do, especially for those of you who have been subscribed to this channel for a while. You probably have noticed that we post 2 videos every single week, and we've been doing that since the beginning of the channel. We've sort of slipped up here and there, but the last 2 weeks we've only posted 1 video, and that's been this weekly news video. And the reason for that is that we're making a video about the story of Flipkart, and it's a longer video. We talk about the very early days of the company. We talk about some of the issues that they had in the first week, in the first month, stuff like that. So it's gonna come in at a little less than 30 minutes, which is about 2 times longer than our average video. And there's gonna be lots of detailed videos and pictures. So I'm putting a lot of effort into it, and that's why it's taken me so long. I'm just doing this on my own. No one else is editing these videos, it's just me. So that's the reason that we've only been posting once a week, and I just wanted to get that out there before we move on to the next news item. And speaking of Flipkart, one of the founders, Sachin Bansal, has entered into the consumer lending space with the launch of his startup's personal lending app, Navi. Now, the app is currently in beta mode, but what we do know is that it's offering collateral-free loans up to 2 lakh rupees to salaried professionals earning as low as 10,000 rupees a month. So from what I've read, it's actually quite simple to get a loan from Navi. All you have to do is plug in your PAN details as well as your Aadhaar card, and there you go. The app will let you know if you're eligible for a loan and how much you're eligible for. And then when it comes to repaying the loan, the app gives you the option of paying it back in flexible EMIs. So in case you haven't been keeping up to date with what Sachin Bansal has been doing post-exit from Flipkart, he started a startup called Navi Technologies along with his co-founder Ankit Agarwal in 2018. And the goal of Navi Technologies, more than anything else, is to make financial services simple, affordable, and accessible to Indian people. So over the last couple of years, Navi Technologies has been gearing up to enter into this banking, financial services, and insurance space here in India. And they've been doing that by making strategic acquisitions. For example, earlier this year in January, they acquired DHFL General Insurance. And then last year in September, they'd acquired a majority stake in an NBFC, Chaitanya India Fin Credit Private Limited. So the next news item, unfortunately, again, we're gonna be flipping from positive to negative news. Unacademy has been hacked, and the data of 20 million users is now being sold on the dark web. This data breach actually occurred in January of 2020, but no one really knew about it until the 3rd of May. So there's this cybersecurity firm called Cyble, and they're actually the ones that picked this up on the 3rd of May when they saw on the dark web that this data of 20 million Unacademy users was being sold for $2,000 US. And according to Cyble, this data includes information like passwords, email addresses, usernames, the last time that these users logged in, as well as the date that they joined. So it's obviously really unfortunate when stuff like this happens. It doesn't seem like there's any company that is fully immune to being hacked. But of course, moving forward, I'm sure that Unacademy is gonna beef up their security. They should have done that in the past, but now they're learning from this difficult lesson, and all of their users are also, gonna have to learn from their mistakes, unfortunately, from Unacademy's mistakes, and hopefully they're all notified so that they can go ahead and change their passwords so that these whoever purchases this stolen information isn't able to access their other accounts on social media sites and other online services. All right, next up in the news, Amazon Prime is handing out some free gaming benefits to their users. So they're calling this Prime Gaming, and currently what it consists of are some benefits like collectibles, characters, skins, power-ups, in-game currency, and Prime-only tournaments for free across popular mobile games like World Cricket Championship 2, Mafia City, The 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, Words with Friends 2, Black Desert Mobile, and Mobile Legends Bang Bang. So obviously this is great news for anyone who is a mobile gamer here in India and happens to be a Prime member or was considering becoming a Prime member, and this was the push that they needed. But more than that, what this really makes me see very clearly, I think on this channel we focus a lot on SaaS, we focus on e-commerce, we focus on fintech, we focus on all of these sort of classic startup sectors, but I think what we haven't been focusing on as much is gaming. I think gaming is exploding, especially right now during this lockdown. And I think the fact that has made that crystal clear for me is the fact that Amazon is taking notice. There's a lot of other countries where these massive companies have invested in gaming because they realize the potential. But I think so far in India, outside of the realm of gambling, like poker and rummy and fantasy sports, gaming hasn't really taken off. But the titles that Amazon Prime is focusing on with these benefits, these are not gambling games. And so I don't know, I mean, personally, this is sort of exciting. I'm into gaming. You know, I don't do a lot of gaming myself, but I think that it's a sector that is very interesting, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Where do you think the gaming industry is going here in India? And again, not focusing as much on gaming as it's referred to here in India with rummy and poker and cricket and all these things, but rather focusing on some of these other games like shooting games or racing games or RPGs, strategy games, stuff like that. All right, moving on to some funding news now. Jio Platforms has raised 5,655.75 crore rupees, that's $750 million, from private equity firm Silver Lake for a 1.15 equity stake. And with this investment, Jio Platforms is now valued at 4.9 lakh crore rupees, that's $4.9 trillion. And do keep in mind that this news is coming just weeks after Jio Platforms raised 43,574 crore rupees from social media giant Facebook. And just so that we're all on the same page here, Silver Lake is a global leader in technology investing with investments in tech companies like Airbnb, Alibaba Group, Dell Technologies, and Twitter. All right, next up in the funding news, logistics startup LoadShare has raised 100 crores from investors like BNext, CDC Group, Stellaris Venture Partners, Matrix Partners, and Alteria Capital. The startup's going to be using these funds to expand their logistics network into sectors like pharmaceuticals, fast-moving consumer goods, and grocery delivery. Founded by Raghuram Taluri, Tanmoy Karmakar, Rakib Ahmed, and Pramid Nair in 2017, LoadShare uses its technology platform to help its clients optimize their supply chain by offering last-mile distribution, freight movement, first-mile pickup, and reverse logistics solutions. In the last 2 years of operation, the company claims to have made more than 8 million deliveries for its clients across the country, leveraging its network of more than 2,900 delivery executives. LoadShare works with large players like Amazon, Myntra, Flipkart, and ICICI Bank, and claims to have generated 105 crores in revenues during the financial year of 2020. All right, next up in the funding news, Vesta Space Technology has raised $10 million from US-based investment and advisory firm Next Capital. Founded by Arun Kumar Surban in 2018, Vesta Space Technology builds small satellite platforms for scientific and commercial purposes. They specialize in miniature satellites and nano-satellite technology, and they've partnered with multiple global space agencies and ground stations around the world. And with these fresh funds, the company is looking to achieve a growth rate of 300%. With this kind of growth, they'll be empowered to expand their reach across India and the world. All right, next up in the funding news, B2B edtech startup Classplus has raised $9 million in its Series A round from RTP Global, Bloom Ventures, Sequoia Capital India's Surge, Strive, and Spiral Ventures. The company will be using these funds to boost their technology platform while also expanding product offerings for their customers. Classplus was started by Mukul Rustagi and Baswant Agarwal in 2018, and it offers a mobile-first SaaS platform that enables coaching institutes in India to go digital by providing a single platform to distribute video content, create online courses, and process process fee payments. More than 3,500 coaching centers are already using its technology to serve more than 1 million students across 70 Indian cities. Overall, there are more than 70 million students studying at these offline coaching centers, and so Classplus has a unique opportunity to help these coaching centers to grow their business by enabling them through technology. And the last piece of funding news that I have for you guys this week is that AI-based SaaS platform Vernacular.ai has raised $5.1 million from investors like Xfinity Ventures, Kalari Capital, AngelList, Indian Angel Network Fund, and Lest Venture. The company was founded by Saurabh Gupta and Akshay Dishrag in 2016, and it helps businesses to enhance customer experience by providing them with intelligent conversation bots that can interact and engage with customers. Their virtual intelligent voice assistant uses cutting-edge speech recognition and natural language processing technology to provide a seamless customer experience. The company claims that so far they've helped their customers to reduce the average handling time by approximately 40 to 50%. They also believe that their technology has the power to automate approximately 80% of all call center operations. With these fresh funds, Vernacular.ai is going to be fueling their expansion into markets like Southeast Asia and the United States. And they're also going to be strengthening their proprietary AI-based automation platform with some R&D. All right, that is all the startup news that I have for you guys this week. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as I mentioned earlier, I would love it if you could leave a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts were on some of the things that we talked about today. Also, please do share this video with somebody who you think would enjoy it, and I will see you guys in the next one.